It's a little funny. Recently, a lot of shit's been happening with me, but not in a bad way, but in a in a good way. Like when you conquer your own problems, you figure yourself out better. And of course, they say as you get closer to 30, or as you get to 30, that you really figure out who you are as a person and what you want out of life, right? So it's really neat. I've been thinking a lot about my problems. I've been going to see because I was on EI and I decided I want to go to school. So New Brunswick has a program where they'll actually pay for half your schooling because they want you to get a job, get a future, and not be on EI anymore, right? So it works out really great. So I'm almost done school now, and I've been meeting with a counselor, an ADD counselor, because my ADD is quite severe a lot of the time. So yeah, I know how to manage it better, but I mean, there's still a lot of things I can't do very well. Like, I mean, I had my panic disorder for a while. Got that sorted out because I'm on Paxil, and then I also there was that, and there was like the obsessive compulsive thing, which mine's not as bad as some other people. I mean, there's just little things like I have to do the dishes because I'm not saying this because I have OCD and nobody can do it right. It's just that I find when other people do the dishes, they always miss spots and I have to redo them. So I don't want to eat off a plate that's got, crud on it or whatever. I'm, super uptight about that kind of shit. But there was one thing that I had figured out. I was talking with my therapist and she was like giving me tips and stuff on like books to go research, and she was asking, basically a lot of ins and outs about all these different facets of my own life, right? And there was one thing I figured out. It was I was wondering why my back was always sore all the time. Like the on the left hand side, right under the scapula, it felt like there was a fucking like rock hard muscle under there. It was just so taut, and we were discussing it, and it made me realize that I don't feel stress anymore. Like any stress I should be feeling, I'm not feeling. Like I was at such during my panic phase, I was at such high stress levels all the time, like, fucking life ending stress for extended periods, that now any normal stress I don't even feel. So it goes right over me. It's like a survival instinct. It goes right into my back. And it's funny because I'm in the office with the lady, we're talking, and as soon as I figured this out, my back stops hurting within minutes. Because I'm like, I have to start feeling things. I have to start feeling more stress. I have to, if it's there, I have to try to work it out, right? Because, it always manifests itself in different ways if you don't deal with it. So that's one thing that's been a really big deal to me, is dealing with things as they come. That's why I get frustrated with the girlfriend a lot of the time, because she'll have a problem and just sit there and go, oh, this sucks. Instead of, like, working out. I'm like, I keep telling her, you just gotta, any problem you have, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, she had to get a tooth removed because it was impacted. She had to go for a bunch of other health appointments all at once, so she just felt crappy because she had to get all the shit done all at once, and then the tooth, and her tooth is healed now, and but she still can't open her jaw properly, right? Anyway, she was so afraid and everything. I'm like, just tackle it head on. That's all you can do in these situations. You have to get it done. So, sitting and worrying about it's not going to help. So that's one of the things I've really learned, is if you've got a problem, don't ignore it. Just take it if you tackle it and put all your force into it, the problem always seems less, because you're like, okay, I'm going to give this my full fucking attention. I'm going to get in there and take this problem. And then when you conquer it, you're like, well, actually, it wasn't that bad. But if you kind of give it a half-assed approach, it always seems like bigger than it is. So another thing, like after I figured that out about the back, my back is almost never hurts now. It's great. It still gets a little sore now and again, but nothing like it used to be. Like I was in fucking horrible pain all I would get the girlfriend to punch me in the back because the pain in my back was so bad. And then just recently, we were watching an episode of something, and there was I think it was Law and Order, and there was a guy in there who had been playing this game, which was a Grand Theft Auto ripoff, and you go up to girls and you beat them up and take their money and you run them over, and it's the only time he really felt alive is when he's playing this game, because he's desensitized, right? And it just clicked with me, and it made me realize I think I'm very desensitized too. That's why I play so many video games, is because it's like I need such constant stimulation, such like ridiculous levels of fun to even make a dent. And I started noticing when I'm just walking around minding my own business, I'm missing a lot. Like a lot of things are going by that I'm not even. So lately I've been really stopping and taking deep breaths and trying to work out this fucking ADD shit, because it's ridiculous. And there's so many levels to your brain. There's so many little things. Like I'm gonna be sitting here working on these problems forever, but I felt like $1,000,000 the other day just realizing that I had to work on some of these problems. It's almost like it's a little ridiculous because you're like, okay, I have a problem. I should probably try to figure out this problem. And then when you realize you have the problem just gets cut in half or less right off the bat, if not more. And your body gives you these huge rewards for dealing with these problems that you didn't even know you had. You just figure out you had, and all of a sudden, boom, it gets easier. And then you learn how to deal with it. And it's just a problem that was insurmountable before turns into like the smallest little step you've ever taken. It's ridiculous. So yeah, lately it's been really doing a lot of research into my own, trying to think about my childhood, the things that bothered me, the things that, I have absolutely no power over, that I used to get upset over, that don't make a fucking lick of difference either way, it's just, and also, think about humans. Humans are funny because our brains, like, everything has to be built up in such a way, because, like, reality, right, there is no reality, really. Reality is something we put together in our minds. It's like a collective, shared thing, and that's why so many people get in so many disagreements, like, about things that, there's so many factors in life. Like, if two people are having an argument about, anything, like poverty, about what to do with the government, certain things, there's so many factors that can contribute to any decision that, nobody can know reality perfectly. That's the thing. I mean, we're just like, molecules of meat floating through space. This, pretty much on Earth. That's it. That's all we are. We're just like ants or anything else, but we have higher reasoning functions. This is the only difference. We're really like animals. It's every time I see humans doing things, every time something happens, like some guy sleeps with some, young girl at school, some teacher sleeps with a student or something like that, and he's, 30 something and she's like 16. I automatically go, that's what animals do. Do you think animals sit there and go, oh, no, I can't have sex with this cat can't have sex with this other cat because this cat's older? Like, I'm not going to give any, whether that's right or wrong. But morality is actually just a creation of our own minds, right? If you want to do something and you go and do it and you don't want to feel bad about it because you don't think it's wrong, then of course it's not going to be wrong, but to everyone else it is wrong, right? Like, so I mean, there's a lot of outcast people, like, like pedophiles and all this fucking disgusting shit that, think that doing that shit to kids is alright because they, it feels alright to them, but it's not. It's really not. Actually, here's what I've been thinking about recently is I want to start my own religion because I'm so sick of all these other religions and all this fucking shit that comes out of other people's religions. My own religion is just going to be the do what you feel religion. Do anything you want as long as it doesn't hurt other people. That's it. And you don't even have to. There's no God, or there is a God if you want there to be. It's very mixed. Pick and choose. You just do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't hurt other people. That's it. So if you compare my religion to everyone else's religion, they have all these, like Christianity or like I'm Catholic. There's all this shit you got to know about your religion to be even participate in your own religion. To believe in God, you have to read this humongous book and you have to understand all this old scripture and shit. You have to believe all these fantastical things in this book that didn't happen. And then you have to go out and force it on other people. Like, you have to believe what I believe, because I read a book that was like an amazing comic book, more or less. And I think I know what God's saying, if God even exists, which we don't know. And I'm going to force you to believe it, even though you're from fucking, like, Antarctica and you've never even heard of religion before, or whatever, like, it's so fucking... I'm doing the Lord's good work by making you listen to what I believe. Just fucking stupid, right? Like... So sick of people forcing their beliefs on others, like the whole abortion thing, right? I believe if you want to have an abortion, why should I be able to tell you you can't? People are going to have abortions in dirty little unsafe clinics with rusty tools if they don't have like an actual place to go and do it, right? So all these people that have their signs out front abortion clinics, I was like, okay, you guys, here's the new rule. You guys can sit out there and picket. You can actually push a button and stop the person from having an abortion. But what does happen is you have to take care of the kid. And I guarantee you no one will be out there picketing because they don't want to take care of the kids. It's like, you can't have it all, okay? Like, our population is grossly huge. Like, we have way too many humans in the world, so... Well, that's just one of the many things that just get on my nerves. And now I'm almost wasting my whole time. But anyway, just feel good about yourself and get out there and fix your own problems. And I guarantee things will be better.